Sweet Christmas.
Shout out to my birds.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Che.
This is Cory.
And this is the Next Time On podcast, a podcast where two lifelong friends talk about all things fetid and all things amazing in popular culture. It's like if, instead of becoming Hollywood's newest power couple, Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz abandoned their successful careers and started an incredible but underappreciated pop culture podcast. Is that fair, Cory?
Wait, are they actually going out?
All right.
I don't know if
I
that's
did.
true.
I did Lily James hella dirty on this podcast last week. Let me just
you did.
double check. I'm like
Yeah, you
90%
gotta
sure
stop.
they're fucking married. Yes, they've been married for 12 years. Thank you.
Really? I
Yes.
said no. I don't. I was surprised. To see
That
Penelope
one I
Cruz
was
in
pretty
some-
sure about because a lot of my talking points from the Oscars are that they got nominated together. So I'm glad they actually are married.
Two episodes in a row, I can talk about the 355, and I'm like, I haven't seen her in a thing in a long time. And it's probably just my own fault, but I was like, oh yeah, I like you. What happened to you? What's going on?
I mean, she's been cooking she's been making really, really good movies over the last few years. She was in one of my favorite movies from, was that 2019 at this point? The Pain and Glory. Yeah, it was 2019. The last movie directed by Pedro Almodovar, whose name I literally can't say. I'm sorry, our Hispanic listeners, but the same guy who directed this movie, she got nominated for this year. So she's been cooking. She did a movie with Javier Bardem a little bit before that called Everybody Knows, which also is very good.
I mean, he's just.
And
good
then
at
she made
everything.
the 355, which Cory and I still will need to do a podcast on because that movie is patently insane. Features two of this year's Oscar nominated.
I don't think you
actresses
guys
for
should
Best
watch it.
Actor.
I just want to put this out there. It's not a good movie, guys. It's not. Don't watch it. Don't watch it.
I
Don't
had
watch
more
it.
fun watching it than Cory did, but I also
Which
went
is
to go see
saying something,
Moonfall
though.
last night in the theaters. So what do I?
What'd you
know?
say? Oh, that's right. You did see that. You're a psychopath. Kingsman is also really weird. I don't really know if I can like. You should watch this movie. I think you should watch up to the Rasputin scene and maybe just turn it off and walk away.
The Rasputin scene it's the hump. It's like if you make it over the Rasputin scene, the rest of the movie is good. It's just a weird movie. Like we were just talking about before the podcast. It's like three different movies jammed next to each other. I don't think there will be any more Kingsman movies after this. I have to say that.
There's nope. There's already one in
They already
production
announced
coming
it?
this September. There's one coming.
I guess
up
the
this-
rules of like how well your movie performed don't matter anymore don't matter now because the Kingsman didn't do well. But again,
No.
nothing
But I mean-
did well that wasn't Spider-Man. So
Yeah, exactly. And also, it's a very weird like risk being like, do I want to risk my life to see this movie?
I mean, when I was in the
Sometimes.
theater, it was just me and my uncle, so there was no.
Well, that's
risk-
what I'm.
no
I
risk
think that's one of
involved.
those like this layers though, being like, do you want to?
Yeah.
Do I want to be around people to see this movie, or do I just want to wait a little bit to watch it? Because I mean, honestly, like I didn't love the second Kingsman movie. I really liked the first one. The second one was weird as shit.
Yeah.
And this was. It's not bad. It was just like
It's a
fine.
different movie. It's just
It's a
different.
very different tone entirely, and it's a weird thing too with me. It's just like does Kingsman have the right to like be like this is like remember this thing? And I'm like, you guys are like a genuinely new franchise for the most part, and it's like you guys are it's like good, but it's like not like oh
A franchise
wow,
that's
this
already rebooted too. On top of that,
Huh?
a franchise that's already rebooted. This is basically
No.
a reboot.
No, I think they're doing I think they're gonna go back to Taron.
What? Why? Why
I don't
make this
know.
movie then?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't think there's a reboot. I think there's a new one coming out with Taron. I'm not 100%.
I gotta
on this.
confirm this. It
I'm
can't-
not 100%
Is he gonna
on
go
this,
from
but I-
playing Elton John to back to being
Back to-
the Kingsman?
Yeah, I think so. But
It's
I'm like,
not in
like,
his IMDb, but what is in his IMDb, which is even more terrifying, is there's a Tetris movie coming out this year, apparently. I don't understand that sentence. And then shortly thereafter, he's going to be in a Little Shop of Horror movies as Seymour. So
what?
two bad decisions by our boy. What the fuck is a
What?
Tetris movie? Why is that
don't-
happening?
I don't fucking know, man.
Oh, man. Should we just get into this podcast? It's actually we got a pretty jam-packed podcast, so
I kind of want to talk about the Kingsman for a while, but let's keep going.
we can save that for another day.
The
If you guys have
355
not,
Kingsman podcast, that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about some weird ass spy movies that existed.
oh, man. I mean, there's some rough spy movies from like the 70s that definitely could use a teardown. If you guys are new listeners, thank you for checking us out. Of course, we have the Next Time On podcast, as I already said. You can go follow us at Next Time On Pod. If you are not new listeners and you haven't already done that, go do that. We're everywhere. We're all over the place. You can also find us at nexttimeon.net. That's the website with all of our archive podcasts, all of our writing, all that good stuff. And if you are not watching us on YouTube, you can check out our YouTube link in the description below. If you are watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And last point of business before we get into the podcast, of course, this month we this month we have our book club, and then next month is the next course of the Rewatch. We just did Four Brothers. That was our last podcast. You can find that at nexttimeon.net or back there in your podcast feed. But our
Another
book
movie
club,
that drove us insane.
It's not the worst movie we've ever done, though.
It's not. We've done much worse.
That's some true trash on the course of the Rewatch. But our next book club, which will be maybe next episode, maybe the one after that, we'll have to discuss, is going to be Far Sector by N.K. Jemisin, the book that wrapped up last year. I think it started in 2020, right?
I think it might have been like 2019, honestly.
Jesus.
It was going on for a
Comic
while.
books
I
take
remember.
too long.
Yeah, I mean the art in that though, I can understand why that took
fair
a while.
Fair.
It's one of those things. I'm like sometimes it's like this is fine to take a long time because the art was worth it. It's not like a saga thing where they just bounced out for 3 years and then came back with one issue.
Yeah.
I think it's still going. I think they're back on track.
Yeah. Unlike the Course of the Rewatch, you should definitely go read along. So don't forget to pick that stuff up.
Yes.
Read that book before the podcast. And if you are in a sadistic mood, you can watch our next Course of the Rewatch, which will be sometime in March, which is going to be Bulletproof Monk by Paul Hunter, starring the one and only Sean William Scott, who is a guy that exists.
That's Che's fault. This is Che's fault that I gotta watch Bulletproof Monk.
I remember
I
just forgot
this is one
it
of the ones I
existed,
remember
and
not
one day-
liking.
Yeah.
I remember
I think
not
I did
liking
like
this
it
as a kid.
actually.
Really?
I
This
think
is
so.
like I remember
as a
watching
kid, I liked
it.
everything though.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very, very fair. Okay, Che, should we get into it?
Yeah, let's do it. We'll do the elevator pitch as usual.
Yes.
I say as usual, but it feels like we haven't done it in a while, but that might just be me.
I think it's
going
just you.
senile.
We don't do it on the Curse of the Rewatches.
No. So, Corey, why don't you go first? Give the people your elevator pitch. I'm going to put a minute on the clock. And start.
If you have nothing to do and you want to see a lot of violence, go watch Amazon Prime's new show, Reacher. It stars Alan Richardson as a gigantic man who just goes around and beats the shit out of people. I'm done.
You have 40 more seconds.
No, I'm done.
You have to say
okay,
more
fine.
words.
It is a lot of fun of a TV show. There's like, you don't have to think very hard. It's just like a front to back mystery solving, small town, just beat 'em up. It's like, it's a show they turned your brain off to. It's if you want like some weird, like violent comfort food. I guess that's a really weird way to phrase it, but it's like, it doesn't take itself too seriously, but it weirdly does at some points. But at the end of the day, I just had a lot of fun. I don't know. I'm just filling up time now. I don't need,
Fine,
you should
I'll
just
just
go
stop the
watch this.
timer.
You can go watch this show. It's ridiculous and fun.
The thing that scares me a little bit about, that scares me, but the thing about these type of shows that worries me a bit is that there are people out there that genuinely think the show is good.
I think it's good. I just don't.
You don't think it's good. You always do this.
I think it's
enjoy
good.
it.
I think it's dumb, but I don't think it's bad. I think we have a weird way to be like the show's not bad.
There are degrees
it's not like,
of bad. I think this is in the degree of bad though.
I disagree with you then. I think I'm disagreeing with you, Che, on this one. I think there are degrees to bad, but I think this is like good. It's not like
there's no
this
people
is
in the show
great.
that act like people. It's such
Sometimes that's the point of these though, with these kind of
know,
shows though.
yeah.
It's like these, like when you have these cartoon characters who definitely just play archetypes and not actual people.
Yeah.
It's fun to go back to that sometimes. It's like, I don't know, we have so much good television, we have so much bad television. It's sometimes good to have something right in the middle. And that's what I feel like this is.
It's definitely it's got its own lane. I can't argue.
It's hard to say that something was fun and bad. I don't know. That's just me. I think there's some things that are like, yo, this is bad, but a lot of fun. I think this was fun.
I think we
but
disagree.
I don't think
there.
it's bad.
I've seen a lot of fun bad. I mean, I had a lot of fun watching the 55. Like I said, I don't think that was
I didn't
good.
have fun watching 355.
I
This
enjoyed
was much
Moonfall,
better than the
despite
355.
the
This
fact-
show was smarter than the 355. Okay.
I was gonna pitch. I'm not gonna pitch this movie, so I won't belabor it. But I was gonna pitch another movie that is fun, that I also think is not great. Is Clean, the Adrian Brody action movie. I just want to tell you a story about when I went to go see this briefly. So, as people know, and that's
You went to go see this?
Yeah, I told. What do you mean? Yes.
Oh, I thought this was just on streaming platforms.
I think it is, but if a movie is in theaters, I go see Netflix movies.
Is this like currently in theaters?
It is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I went to the theater to go see this. So, and I'm sure it is streaming somewhere, right?
It is streaming. I saw it streaming.
Something.
Yeah, I think you can rent it. I was like, that's why I was wondering. I just didn't see it in theaters.
So people know I've belabored the point of this podcast before. I don't watch trailers. I don't do anything. If I know I'm going to go see a movie, which is basically as soon as I find enough information about a movie that I'm going to go see it, I just go see it and I don't find anything else about it. And this movie starred Adrian Brody, which is enough for me. I'm good. I don't need to find anything else about it. So I didn't know this was an action movie. I didn't know what the plot was. I didn't know anything about it. And the movie starts and he's just like a trash man. I was like, oh, it's going to be like this story about Adrian Brody hanging out in a small, I think it's Detroit or something. This like small Detroit neighborhood. He's, on the come up, trying to do well by his neighborhood. And then a rent shows up. He starts beating people's heads in. Just genuine shock in the theater. I was like, wait, what? What kind of movie is this? Adrian Brody got a wrench out of a guitar case and he's beating the shit out of people with it. Okay.
It's like a better version of the mariachi, honestly.
It's basically, what it's like is The Insider, not The Insider. Oh my God, The Equalizer.
Oh, okay. Like
it's
that
very,
kind of.
Yeah, it's very much
How's
like
the action?
It's fine. I mean, it's like those kind of movies are like guy walks slowly through a house, guys jump out from the house, and he either shoots them or hits them in the head.
Well, okay, does it look good? Because I mean, the 355's action didn't look good to me, which was my biggest, I was hoping at least it would be like some type of like fun to watch. I think Reacher had like well done action. The fights actually were easy to follow.
It's very stylized. I don't care. Like
Unless
you are like The Raid, I don't really care much about like action scenes don't matter to me unless they're really well done.
Well, I think the John Wick and Atomic Blonde do a good.
Yeah, I like Atomic Blonde. I think is amazing. John Wick is just that guy shooting.
It's the same choreographer.
There's no scene in John Wick as
today.
Absolutely fucking insane as the scene where like Charlize Theron is like dying of exhaustion in that room beating up the guy. It's the greatest action scene I've ever seen.
You're on one today. I don't know what the fuck's
going on. What? Just because I said Jack Reacher wasn't good.
Do your pitch.
All right. My elevator pitch. I'm gonna put a minute on the clock. My elevator pitch. Wait, where's my timer? Let me find my timer. Where did it go? Oh, here we go. Alt tab was trying to do me dirty for a second. All right, minute on the clock. My pitch as follows. So this is a 2021 movie, I think, but it has just hit theaters in America, so I'm counting it as a 2022 movie. Starring Tim Roth, directed by Miguel Franco, which is he's a Mexican-born filmmaker. I think he lives in the UK now. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know why I said correct me if I'm wrong. The movie's called Sundown, and I don't really want to say anything about the plot because I think this movie is a perfect movie to go into blank. The thing I would say about this movie and the way I described it to some friends after I saw it is, if you know the feeling, you've ever been in a roller coaster and you're in the front seat of the roller coaster.
Oh God!
And there's the moment after you go over the edge, but you haven't dropped yet because the back seats are still attached to the crank. So you're looking at the drop. You're waiting for the drop, but you don't really know when it's going to happen.
I'm not enjoying this.
That's the entire movie, and then there is no then the credits roll. There is no drop. It's so disorienting. I used up my whole minute describing a probably not all that helpful.
No, I mean that sounds horrifying.
It's not. Well, it's not scary.
No, but here's my question though, Che: Is this a prequel to Moonfall?
I kind of wish it had been.
Waited an entire minute to make that bad joke. I waited an entire minute.
I kind of wish it had been, but it isn't. I don't really know. Again, I don't want to say too much about it because I think the experience of watching this movie is like you kind of have to go in knowing nothing, and even based on like the blurb about it, like the plot blurb, it gives you nothing. I'll actually just read it because it doesn't have, a wealthy man is vacationing with loved ones at a resort in Acapulco, Mexico, until he receives a phone call. There's been a death in the family and everyone must return home. However, the man pretends to lose his passport, which delays his return. I mean, that's basically the first like 5 minutes of the movie. After that, it kind of goes off the rail in a very fascinating way. I don't really know if I would call this movie amazing. I have a lot of thoughts about Franco's movies in general. I think he makes very ambitious films, which I respect a lot, that often are maybe too high-minded for their own good. This movie's an hour and 23 minutes, which is basically like an episode of a TV show in 2022, and it just feels like an experience in a theater I've never really had. I love Tim Roth. I think he's fucking incredible in this. It's one of my favorite performances of his. And like I said, I highly recommend it. If you can go see it, if you're in a major city, it's probably playing somewhere near you. But yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know. Unlike Moonfall, which I had a lot of fun watching. It's not a fun movie, but it is very interesting. So that's my well over 1 minute pitch about the movie Sundown. So.
Well, I'm gonna watch. I want to watch that, but
I think it's another one that you could probably just wait until it's like in-home.
Just wait for
streaming
home
stuff.
I mean, I was gonna ask you about I thought your pitch was gonna be on Moonfall. I didn't even look at your thing, and I was just waiting.
No, I don't. I didn't like Moonfall. I don't recommend people go see Moonfall. If you gotta go to the theaters to go see a movie, you should probably go see Jackass Forever. Everyone apparently is like in love with that movie.
I mean, it's. I think that's like the weird equivalent of getting comfort food, but also getting punched in the balls.
Yeah, I did we like Jackass? I feel like we watched.
I did.
I haven't watched Jackass in like over a decade, but I have a sort of fond memories of it. But also, still don't really care about seeing this one. It's kind of weird.
It's funny. Like I had a friend in town. We kind of rewatched. We kind of put them on the background, like the movies, and like let them just ride.
Yeah,
they're still funny. It's like a weird like reaction to be like, oh, this is like fun to watch these people just go into extreme pain. Like I don't know what it is, but like sometimes you just want to see someone fear for their lives or being chased down by a bull. It's just
vegans getting hit in the nuts is never not going to be funny. So
it's never not going to be funny.
All right. Speaking of vegans getting hit in the nuts, should we talk about this year's Oscars?
Let's do it. I'm just gonna ride that one out. Let's do it.
So the 94th Annual Academy Award nominations were released yesterday. We've got about a month and a half until the official awards, in which we will do a more in-depth preview of that. But I do think there are some pretty interesting nominations here. My general takeaway, before we get into like the specific awards, my general takeaway from this is I didn't realize, like, for a year that I thought was like really good movie year. And of course, the Oscars is not at all completely indicative of the quality of a movie year. It never has been. But I'm sort of surprised how disappointed I am already with, like, I feel like no matter who wins in any category, I'll be a little bit bummed out. But that being said, some of these movies are absolutely incredible. So we'll just, I figure we'll go just top down and then swing back around for Best Picture.
You say top down, but I don't know which of these categories we should cover.
Best director. I think we do the big ones. Do director, the actor ones.
Best director, best actors, best picture. Because we're definitely, as always, we do an Oscar special, and we're going to run those down and our thoughts during that process. But at least let's talk it out. But at least let's start with, you know what? Best actor first. We got Javier Bardem and Bjorn Ricardo's as Desi Arnaz, Benedict Cumberbatch, The Power of the Dog, as Phil Burbank, Andrew Garfield, Tick Tick Boom as Jonathan Larson, Will Smith in King Richard as Richard Williams, and Denzel Washington in The Tragedy of Macbeth as the titular character. I mean, we both talked about how much we loved Tragedy of Macbeth.
Yeah. No big surprise in this category. Podcast. I think no Bradley Cooper is a bit of a bummer.
Is that from
Nightmare Alley?
Nightmare Alley?
Yeah. That's a bit of a personal bummer for me. I sort of get it. I'm actually surprised, and I guess this is because there was, I feel like, a backlash to his last win, and also this movie was just not successful. I would have loved to see Joaquin Phoenix get a nomination here. I talked about how amazing I thought he was in Come On. But again, like, basically no one went to go see that movie, so Come On even
Did it get any nominations? I'm not even sure if I see it
I
anywhere.
think Come On, and Green Knight, two of my favorite movies from last year, got shut out. I knew
Oh,
Green
wow.
Knight. I knew Green Knight was not getting it.
Yeah, no, I don't think
I
Green
knew.
Knight's not an award movie, which it should be though. I mean, the cinematography, the directing, all the shit around.
Yeah.
Shame. Damn shame right there. I think that's one of my biggest. Like, I think snubs is probably Dev Patel of not even being.
Yeah, I mean that would have been probably the most
It wouldn't
shocking
have had
nomination
it.
ever.
Yeah.
Honestly, I will say that this, as I said, even before award season started, I think we did a little bit of a coverage of the Golden Globes that never happened, or like happened in a quiet warehouse somewhere.
It was in someone's closet.
Someone's living room in Burbank or something. This is a two-man race, and it has been all award season. I have a sneaking suspicion as we get even closer, and the absolute disappearing act in a lot of ways that Will Smith has done on the campaign trail. I'm wondering if he'll come back strong in these next few weeks before votes have to come in. But this is between Will Smith and Benedict Cumberbatch. I'd be surprised if anybody else won this. I mean, I will say I leave my dislike of Tick Tick Boom for a different podcast. I think it's a movie. Andrew Garfield is out here campaigning his ass off. I would be surprised, despite that fact, that if he won.
I just want Andrew Garfield to keep on getting work. I love that guy.
I like Andrew Garfield a lot, and he is good in this movie. That being said, there are better performances in much better movies in this category. I would say he and Javier Bardem's performance in Being the Ricardos, a movie that I think is like average at best, and I'm confused about the love it got in the actor categories here.
People love that. Like, if you play other people,
Yeah,
love that
but it's
shit.
like it's not even like a really, like, I get it if it's like a meaty performance, like even the Queen movie, which I'm blanking on. What was it called?
It's not Diane or something. It's,
No. I mean, literally, like Queen.
Spencer.
It's not We Will Rock You. No.
Oh.
Bohemian Rhapsody. There you go. I got it.
Oh my God.
I got there
thought
at
you
the
were
end.
God, there was, she must, yeah, okay. That shouldn't even.
Even
whatever.
even in Bohemian Rhapsody, like, it felt like that was like a pretty meaty part. Rami Malek is on screen a lot, like basically in every scene of that movie. It's got sort of everything the Academy loves. It's got really emotional moments. Got really, he sings in front of a stadium full of people. Desi Arnaz is a very fascinating historical character as far as TV and movies are concerned. His character in this movie is not all that interesting in a, I think, not very interesting movie. But either way, he's not going to win. It's going to be Will Smith or it's going to be Benedict Cumberbatch on the night. And I have a feeling that we're going to get a repeat of last year where everyone wants the black guy to win. And the white guy in the probably admittedly better movie is going to end up winning. So
I think I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Best Actress. We have Jessica Chastain in the 355. I mean, The Eyes of Tammy Faye as the titular character. Olivia Colman in The Lost Daughter as Lita Caruso. Penelope Cruz in Parallel Mothers as Yanis Martinez Moreno. Nicole Kidman being the Ricardos as Lucille. Why the fuck was she? I'm sorry, I haven't seen that movie yet, but it's still just so weird that she was playing. Kristen Stewart and Spencer as Diana, Princess of Wales.
Wait, why do you think it was weird she was playing Lucille Ball?
I don't know. Just didn't. I don't know. My mental image of. I watched a lot of I Love Lucy as a child.
Yeah.
Weird sentence, but I don't
She
know. It's
looks.
just like,
She actually they do her makeup up, and she looks pretty similar, honestly.
I remember. Only thing I've seen about that movie was like the weird trailer where they just didn't show her face at all.
Oh, really?
Or,
I
like,
never saw the trailer.
Yeah, they didn't show her face at all, and I think they maybe like gave her one line to speak, but it wasn't even like from the show. So I'm like, why are they afraid of it?
I think she looks, and as far as I know, and I won't pretend to be like a big I Love Lucy fan. As far as I remember from the few episodes I've seen, she's delivering like a pretty good Lucille Ball, like accurate performance. People heard I sighed before this because, as usual, the Best Actress category is just a fucking bummer. These are 5. No, it's not true. Olivia Colman in The Lost Daughter is incredible. It's an incredible performance in a movie that I think is fascinating, and I think Maggie Gyllenhaal getting no nod in the director category is not much of a snub because the 5 directors are pretty amazing. We'll talk about them in a second, but the rest of this list is just weird and not very. I mean, Jessica Chastain, I think she's fantastic. The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Do you know anybody that's seen that movie?
Andrew Garfield?
No. Oh, you think Andrew Garfield has seen The Eyes of Tammy Faye?
Oh, I thought wasn't he in it?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know. No, I don't know anybody who
Oh,
saw
he
The
is.
Eyes of
Yeah,
Amy.
he is. You're right. He is. I'm blanked on that movie. I
I
literally have
remember,
forgotten.
I've seen the trailer. They showed the trailer fucking a million times in front of movies at Alamo that I'm like, I have it. I might watch it. I don't want to watch it. I don't care
It's
about
very boring. I found
so
it
many
incredibly
things.
dull.
The church and especially evangel. I don't give a shit. I don't care about whatever, man. I don't give a shit.
I think this is actually, so I'm having this exact same experience with the Pam and Tommy show, which I think is probably good. And I think Sebastian Stan and Lily James are actually probably good in it. But
Well, I didn't know Sebastian Stan was in it.
yeah,
I
he's
might
playing
watch it now.
Tommy Lee. But I care so little about the
Yeah, who's that
actual story of Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee that watching the show is like a chore. And I felt the same way about the Eyes of Tammy Faye, which is Jessica Chastain is again probably delivering a very accurate performance of a person I care so little about in a movie that I think is so incredibly boring that I'm confused why it's here. But hey, it's here, so
It is here.
and, I mean, the rest of this, and also I talked about already, Penelope Cruz, who I love and I think is great in Parallel Mothers. I don't like, and maybe that's all it should be. It should just be a good performance. But the Parallel Mothers is not Almodovar's like best movie, and I also think it's not particularly. It's not a particularly like meaty part, as far as even despite the fact that it's actually very tragic, has a pretty soap opera-y feel to it. It's very emotional at times. I think to the detriment of the movie, it goes way over the top in parts. But the truth is that the only reason that movie is even remotely watchable is because Penelope Cruz is holding it together with her bare hands, because everybody else in it is lost. They have no idea what they're doing. Milena Smith, who is like her playing her acting partner in this, she's like the second lead, is so terrible at times in the movie. It's like I don't understand what she's going for in some scenes. And then, as all European movies have to now, there's like a very weird sex scene in the middle. Just remember thinking, wait, what? Why are these two characters having sex with each other? They had no chemistry.
That's what people do, man.
30
Like, you
seconds
can't
ago.
Be...
And we don't need to talk about Kristen Stewart and Spencer because
Honestly, yeah, if you gave me betting odds like 4 years ago, being like, who's gonna get an Oscar, who's gonna get nominated for an Oscar first, her or Robert Pattinson, I would have lost a lot of money on this.
I mean, I think people do really like Kristen Stewart and really like that movie. It's again, do I care about Princess Diana? No.
Wow, that's pretty fucked up.
I'm sorry. What can I say?
Damn, that's pretty shitty of you.
I watched the movie. That's good enough, right?
I'm not gonna co-sign that notion. No.
I didn't say I disliked Princess Diana.
No, it's all right. No, it's okay. All right, best director. We got Kenneth Branagh in Belfast. Why I'm gonna be really mad in about 10 seconds.
Ryosuke Hamaguchi.
I wasn't even gonna do that. I said drive my car. I wasn't gonna be mad about that. Paul Thomas Anderson in Licorice Pizza, Jane Campion in The Power of the Dog, and Steven Spielberg in West Side Story.
So
and where the fuck is Dennis?
Yes, as Corey is already angry before he started reading, this I think is by far, without a question,
This is
the biggest snub of the nomination list.
Come on, they didn't even give him They didn't give him Blade Runner. What the fuck? Like, what happened?
Villeneuve's directorial performance in Dune is, I think, unquestionably. I don't really know how you argue it's not the best directorial.
If he was
performance of the
nominated
year.
here, I thought he was going to run away with this. I thought he was.
You know what's even crazier? He's not really getting any nominations. He didn't get nominated for the BAFTAs. I don't think he got nominated for the Directors Guild Awards. Let me just double check.
Which is so weird because I mean, like, he does this, like, makes really good movies and makes studios a lot of money. I'm surprised that
I was actually surprised to see Dune even get a Best Picture nomination.
I was surprised too. I was just gonna figure that like they were just gonna. I thought honestly he was gonna get at least some nods for how like just forgotten Blade Runner was when that first came. Like when that.
Oh, so I was wrong. So Dune did get nominated for. The Directors Guild doesn't do Best Director; they just do Best Film, which usually just means because it's Directors Guild Best Director. So they basically swapped out Hamaguchi for Villeneuve in that category, which if I was picking, I would drop Spielberg. Although, you know, I'm not a big West Side Story guy. I respect the artistry that went behind it. It's if you love that kind of movie, and it's obviously Steven Spielberg. The thing I love most about Steven Spielberg as a director is that he is a prestige director who has made movies like Schindler's List, but will also make movies like West Side Story and Ready Player One. Now,
Yeah.
I don't really like those movies, but the fact that he is willing to make them is fascinating, and I find, like, as a guy who he just clearly just loves movies more than any,
Yeah,
I think,
and
any human
yeah.
being on planet Earth. So
Absolutely. I mean, like Ready Player One is a fucking mess of a movie, but the directing is not.
yeah, he's
direct-
a good director, even when maybe the material doesn't.
God, I
doesn't
cannot.
kinda dirty.
I hate. It's like one of those things. Like I cannot think of many things that I'm like in the last decade of my life that I'm like, why did you like that?
The movie,
Yeah, the movie. Like not the movie, the book.
the book. I saw.
It's not well. It's not well written. It's not a good book. It's not a well.
I feel like most genre literature now is just sort of very hit or miss in that it's either like incredible or unreadable, and there's not really much in between. Like I haven't read a genre literature book in a while that I was like, good. But yeah, I mean, so this category, this is the first mention of Drive My Car, which I think is the most shocking big winner from the nomination list. 4 nominations for this movie that I really like. I think, I don't really remember exactly, but it just missed my top 10. And if you eliminate the movies that wouldn't have been eligible for the Oscars because they were early 2021 releases, I had Minari, The Father, and Judas on my list for the end of the year. I think if you eliminate all 3 of them, Drive My Car maybe would have made the cut. I'm surprised Hamaguchi made this list because, one, no people have seen Drive My Car, judging by the numbers. I think it's made $1 million to date.
I have literally not heard about this movie until
That's the other
like
thing. I think
10
people
minutes
haven't
ago.
heard of this movie.
Yes.
You live in New York, so you could actually see it. There are some of our listeners who quite literally cannot watch this movie today. They will be able to soon when it'll get a wider release now that it's been nominated for Oscars. But it is basically a 3-hour slow burn story about a man struggling with the death of his wife, and I guess I don't want to spoil too much. Struggling with a lot of things, and through this process is like bonding with his driver, who is this young girl who gets assigned to him as he's working on a play in this smallish village in Japan. It's fascinating, and Hamaguchi makes very introspective, slow burn, not really like cloud pleaser movies. I mean, this movie's 3 hours long. He released his other most famous movie is Happy Hour, which clocks in at 317 minutes. This is a man who likes to tell long, stretched out stories. I'm surprised that it got love here. It got the 2 big nominations, and it's going to. I mean, it's just by the math, guys. This movie will win Best Foreign Picture. It's the only foreign picture that got nominated for Best Picture. So,
Also, a really cool poster.
spoiler for you there. Yeah, this movie genuinely, if you can go see it, it's absolutely worth going to see. I think it's fantastic.
So long, Che. I just it's playing at
listen.
at my theater. It's long.
We can't say shit because we were like, why is everybody complaining about the Batman being 11 hours long? Let's just watch the Batman for 11 hours.
It's Batman. I could watch this Batman.
It is true. A lot of this
I
movie
wanna
is a man
watch-
sitting in a car in silence.
There's someone dealing with death in one movie, and the other one does it while punching people. And I want to deal with that one. I like the punching people guy.
Unfortunately, there are no scenes in Hamaguchi's Drive My Car where he dresses up in a skin tight suit and assaults criminals.
That's fucking horse shit. No wonder it's not
Sorry,
going to win.
man.
All right, let's
we go to Sorry, go ahead.
You want to finish this up with Best Picture?
Yeah, we'll close out. But actually, just one more note, quickly. I just want to blaze over the supporting actor and actress categories. We don't even need to read the nominations. They're up on the screen if you're watching YouTube, or you can Google them if you're not, because they're readily available. One, shout out to Jessie Buckley, who is quickly becoming my favorite actress on planet Earth. She's incredible in The Lost Daughter. Second year in a row, I think she's delivered probably the best performance by an actress in a movie. I apparently, I don't really understand this. Judi Dench comes out of the fucking like the woodwork. So I think she gets no nominations all award season, and then gets nominated for Belfast instead of Catriona Balfe, who has been getting all the other nominations, who I think is a better performance and like a better role. It's just like just on screen more. So that was interesting from the Academy, who just decided to say fuck everybody else who nominates actors. But shout out to J.K. Simmons getting a nominator for being the Ricardos when he's not a character in this movie. He's got like 3 scenes, and one of the scenes is just him insulting people from this like off camera. I'll
be honest with you, I could watch J.K. Simmons just insult people for as long as I could watch a Batman movie. Like that, honestly, those things I would sit down for 3 hours just watching J.K. Simmons berate people.
Absolutely agree, but they usually don't give awards for that. Tempo. I'm shocked he's in this category. Genuinely shocked.
Also, shout out to Mitchell's vs. the Machines for making Best Animated Feature Film nominated.
Probably gonna lose to Flea though. Sorry to break that to you.
Yeah, I haven't even heard of Flea either. I'm interested to watch that.
Flea is a docudrama. Also, it's the first movie ever to be nominated for animated feature, international feature, and documentary. So
yeah, but sir, you don't understand Disney money, so I would not be surprised.
Fair, but actually, the Academy usually does not give a fuck about Disney money. They don't really.
I mean, if there's like no movies. I don't know if Kanto was Pixar. I don't think it was.
It's Disney. It's not Pixar though.
It's just Disney. I don't think. I think they did Luca, and I don't think that did very well. So. Yeah, you're probably right.
Animated movies were weird this year because I think probably what happened is they made no box office money, but every kid on planet Earth saw them on their TV at home when their parents needed to like do the laundry or something. So,
I do hope that Lightyear gets a theatrical release. It does. I don't understand
that movie's gonna happen.
I don't understand why I'm so excited for this movie, Che. It looks so cool. It doesn't make any sense. It's so dumb, but it looks cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say anything to you. All right, we can close out with Best Picture though.
It's like you made 2001: A Space Odyssey, but for Pixar, but also put Buzz Lightyear in it for some reason.
That's not what that movie's gonna be. You can't compare 2001: A Space Odyssey. You just can't. I'm sorry.
It's probably gonna be. I think it's gonna be Interstellar, the Pixar movie. That's my guess. This is what I think is gonna happen. It's gonna be Interstellar, but Pixar.
I mean, it's not gonna be that either. But I'll let you have it.
If I'm right, I want it to be acknowledged on this podcast.
Sure. If it turns out that Lightyear is even remotely like Interstellar, I'll acknowledge it on this podcast.
Hell yeah. I don't even know what I want out of this. Give me $5 if I'm right.
Sure.
I want $5.
$5 all yours. All yours.
All right, guys. For Best Picture, we have Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story.
This is sort of what I meant when I said, no matter what happens, despite the fact that actually, I think all these movies are degrees of good. I think probably my favorite of these movies is Licorice Pizza. The best of these movies is probably The Power of the Dog. I think the worst one is... No, sorry. My favorite is Dune. I completely forgot Dune was here. It's just... Because I didn't expect it to be here. That's the thing. I did not expect Dune to get any nominations.
Yeah, no, it's actually really surprising.
I'm surprised. Well, actually, that's not true. I didn't think I was going to get any nominations except for director. And then usually if you get director, you get like one other stray one. But I am surprised that Dune is here, but not in Best Director, as we already talked about. I think... This is once again we have a two horse race, and one of those 2 horses would be much more of a bummer than the other one for me personally. Obviously, the favorite is The Power of the Dog, which crushed it. They got the most nominations by a wide margin, 12 nominations for Jane Campion, first female director to ever get more than 10 nominations for a film.
Oh yeah,
and well deserved. If you guys have not seen Power of the Dog, it's incredible. You should definitely see it. The bummer for me personally, I guess either way, honestly, it's a little bit of a bummer because they're both Netflix movies that I think are the favorites. And I'm anti-Netflix, as you all know.
I hate them all. It's fine.
I just the thing is I don't like about Netflix is that they have all of the power. They basically have a monopoly on streaming, and their goal is to destroy movie theaters. They're just against. Like the thing that I love personally. I don't have like a
honestly.
moral.
I think the reason that they are so anti movie theaters. Well, this is my entire fan theory. Is that the Oscars were like, no, you have to be in a movie theater to do that, and so Netflix was like, let's destroy all movie theaters. Then.
Well, they also still don't have an actual Best Picture win. This seems like it is going to be the year though, because I think the 2 favorites are probably The Power of the Dog and Don't Look Up.
Yeah, but like the thing about it is like Dune was so cool though.
Dune is the best. Dune is the best movie here. I shouldn't have said The Power of the Dog. I love The Power of the Dog. I think it's probably the second best movie here. I forgot. Like I said, I forgot Dune existed for a second when I was reading this list.
How dare you?
Forgot Dune existed on this list. But Dune is the best movie here. It's not going to win. You guys should just get that out of your head now. Don't get too excited about it. Dune is not going to win any awards besides maybe best cinematography. I have a feeling that's going to be Janusz Kaminski though, because he's Spielberg's guy. And I don't see West Side Story winning any more awards besides that one. Possibly best supporting actress, but again, well, either way, I'm digressing. I would be interested to see what the Academy's reaction to is, because they are against Netflix, like me. Me and the Academy agree on literally one thing, and it's that we don't want Netflix to get any awards. And if that's the case, the Belfast is going to win this because of the theatrical release films. It's the most Academy-friendly movie. I talked about Belfast when it came out, and that movie is good, but I'm surprised at the response to it. I think Kenneth Branagh is a talented director with not a lot of interesting things to say. And I understand this is like his life story, so I guess that's a fucked up thing to say.
That's fucked up, Trey.
I don't really think this movie has like a ton going on that hasn't been done before. It's good. It's like, again, all these movies are good. They're objectively good films. There's no turn in the punch bowl like there seems to be every year. Last year was I think the worst one for a lot of reasons, mostly because of COVID. But I think the other thing that's weird about this is that the Oscars knows they're in a crisis in a lot of ways. If you care, which I don't, but I think a lot of people do, about viewer numbers, this is a weird list of nominations. For example, Corey, you already said you'd never heard of Drive My Car.
No.
Besides me saying it was good, had you heard of Coda?
Yeah, no, I've seen some trailers about Coda.
You heard of Coda.
I've seen some people talk about Coda before.
So Coda, Drive My Car, Belfast, 3 movies that I think are like very unpopular, just like viewer wise. I'm not saying that there's a negative, there's not negative feelings toward them or anything, but like, not many people have seen them. I already said Drive My Car has made $1 million so far, which is no dollars essentially. The other one, even West Side Story, which of course was like supposed to be a massive hit, basically super bombed at the box office, suggesting that nobody went to go see this movie, mostly because everyone was going to see Spider-Man, and it came out the week before Spider-Man, which was a choice.
That's their fault, man. They were like, let's go to Oscar season, and then Spider-Man's like, nobody's gonna see any of your movies. Which
I think is a big reason why Netflix actually has a chance to win this, because without a doubt, other than Dune, the most popular movie on here, the 2 most popular movies are Don't Look Up and The Power of the Dog. It seemed like for like a week, every human being on planet Earth watched Don't Look Up, which was weird. I was surprised that was the movie that like caught steam over Christmas.
I think it's Leo, and you can sit on your couch.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing is, there's a lot of movies. The Power of the Dog was on Netflix the same day.
And I know what I'm saying. I think Leonardo DiCaprio has that kind of like.
Fair.
I think he doesn't really make bad movies, so I think he's very easy to be like, I want to watch this film because of him.
Yeah. If I had, listen, in my dream scenario, obviously I would love for Dune to win. Dune's not going to win. So if I had to pick a realistic winner, I hope I'm wrong too. But Corey, don't get your hopes up. Please don't get your hopes up, because it's not.
I know. Che, it's all right, man. I don't give a fuck about the Oscars, bro. Like, none of it matters.
I see. That's the thing. Is I kind of
I want it to matter
in a way, but the thing about the Oscars that I don't care about, as I said, the viewership number. I think that's not important. If no people watch the Oscar ceremony, it wouldn't mean anything to me. The thing that's important about the Oscars is 50 years from now, there is not really a better measure of the Oscars, even if the movies didn't get nominated and win. Like, there are movies whose the story of them, for example, Forrest Gump. The thing that I think a lot of people know about Forrest Gump is that in, was it 95 Oscars? The 95 Oscars, Forrest Gump wins over, oh my God, 94 is Pulp Fiction. Yeah, sorry. Pulp Fiction and Shawshank Redemption. 2 movies that I think are just way better. And I think a lot of people are way better and have a have like a longer life. And I think that's the thing about the Oscars is that even if they get them wrong, it's this document of movies, which I think movies are important, and I love movies.
I think you're very right. I think there is a good merit to have because I mean, this is what everybody thinks about, like, if something wins a movie. No one gives a shit about the other ones. I think it is very important to have the Oscars, and which is why it's so sometimes disappointing when, like, the films that match up with it seems like either was like a political decision or some kind of weird. It just feels it like instead of being like earned, it was like people like this thing was deserved or not. I don't know. It's like kind of back and forth. At least to me, it's more like they got to pick a lane. Sometimes they do like this is deserved, and I'll give it to this, rather than being like this is the best objectively speaking thing.
Yeah,
like
I think like unfortunately it's still a campaigning.
Which is like, listen, I like The Revenant. I think Leo's good in it, but I'm like, come on, that's the one he won for. And then like, and that to me,
yeah.
And to me, it was kind of more like this is just more of like kind of like you finally got one kind of situation. And then like let's say for example last year when they gave it to Anthony Hopkins, who did a great job in his film, and then they didn't get the Chadwick though. And it's just like pick a side. If you're gonna do one, stick with it.
I think that's the thing is that
and I think that's the problem with having like a fucking if you having a group of people who aren't required to watch everything, it does fuck things up.
Well, they are actually technically required, but you just can't enforce it. People are supposed to watch all these movies. They just obviously don't. And that's a conversation for a different day. I think the thing about the Oscars that is good and bad in a lot of ways is that they are obviously not rigged. Because let's be clear. If they were rigged, Bradley Cooper and Leonardo DiCaprio would have got nominations for Best Actor because they know to get people to care about the Oscars, you need big names. They wouldn't have nominated Javier Bardem and Andrew Garfield in the category. You probably wouldn't have Drive My Car Here or Coda. They would have had, I don't know, what other...
And I mean, like, hey, listen, when Parasite cleaned up, that wasn't like, so...
Right, so I mean, there's just the thing is, I think that really happened. And
I think what we have to do, Che, I know how to fix the Oscars, and before we can go into break after this, we need to lock you in a room for a year, and just every time there's a movie come out, I'm gonna make you we gotta give you to watch it, and then you'll just decide by the end of the year.
You need to lock me in a room. I basically already do that.
Yeah, just like
listen, if it had been up to me.
Like by the end of it, it's just the ravings of a madman.
Yeah,
you can't see anybody else. Like this is your jail. Like you it's like Old Boy, but with movies.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Don't threaten me with a good time. That's all.
Like I'm referencing the Spike Lee Old Boy, and
I still can't believe he fucking did that. Why?
I don't know.
Why, Spike?
I really wonder what happened in the situation. I feel like somebody but it's a lot of weird choices when it's whatever. Che, you got anything else to say
Old Boy was
about
not that old when that happened.
No, he wasn't.
No, I know. I mean, I think again, you guys should go see all these movies. I think they're all worth seeing.
I'm excited to see Drive My Car.
King Richard, which is a movie.
I liked King Richard.
We talked about it. Yeah, I think it's good, but I also just don't.
I mean, it's like after a while, I'm just watching this for Will at this point, and he's just kind of
right.
Like,
that's what it is.
It's like to me, I'm like Will's keeping me entertained enough, and like whenever he was like off screen, I'm like I don't care as much.
I really, 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 really hope that Will Smith wins his Oscars, not because I think he's deserving of it, because then we get fun Will Smith.
I want fun Will Smith whose agent helps him make good decisions. Is that too much to ask? I feel like that shouldn't be too hard to ask for.
Shouldn't be. We're entering the third phase of Will Smith's career, and he doesn't have many more phases after this.
No.
So hopefully he gets this Oscar, because I don't care like a ton about the other ones. I would love to see.
How many years are we? How many years are we away from Will Smith getting his like solo old man action film?
I don't think he will. This thing is, he needs to win an Oscar for that film to exist. That's my point. Is that
fair,
he keeps doing
fair.
stuff like this because he's desperate for an Oscar, and stuff that lines his pocket with fat money, like Suicide Squad. But he won't do anything in between. We need him to win an Oscar, so he'll do some in between movies.
Yeah, I mean, like also like this is why he wasn't in the Suicide Squad, because he wanted to get an Oscar.
Right.
So
let's give it to him so that we can all have fun again.
Exactly. Like, listen, like, I don't know how it would work story-wise, but I just want to see Idris Elba and Will Smith yell at each other and shoot things. Like, what? Let me get that.
As we're going to talk about in a second, based on Peacemaker, story is not all that important.
No, it is not.
To the DC universe at the moment. And speaking of which, we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk about some TV.
Yes, Raised by Wolves and Peacemaker.
Only just met. I'm going to go look at a flat.
Problem?
We don't know a thing about each other. I don't know where we're meeting. I don't even know your name.
I know you're an army doctor and you've been invalided home from Afghanistan. I know you've got a brother who's worried about you, but you won't go to him for help because you don't approve of him, possibly because he's an alcoholic, more likely because he recently walked out on his wife, and I know that your therapist thinks you're limp psychosomatic quite correctly, I'm afraid. It's enough to be going on with, don't you think? The name's Sherlock Holmes and the address is 221B Baker Street. Afternoon.
He's over. And we're back.
What's up?
All right. It is time to talk about the first 2 episodes of Raised by Wolves 2, which I don't love that shows are doing that now. Just do season 2.
I blame it's Stranger Things' fault.
It is. I know it's literally Stranger Things'
all
fault.
Stranger Things' fault. How dare you, Stranger Things?
When's that coming back? Do we
I
know?
have no fucking idea. I remember seeing a trailer for it like a year ago or something, and it's just like, what happened to that? It must be done sitting somewhere. It's just Netflix is like Umbrella Academy apparently was done for like 6 months, and it just like didn't come out.
The Netflix release schedule is just weird to me. But either way,
Very weird.
Raised by Wolves 2. Shockingly, I didn't really think the turnaround of this. I mean, it's not exactly a quick turnaround because season 1 of Raised by Wolves was the beginning of the pandemic, basically.
Oh my God,
so
you're right.
It's been almost sorry, not really. I guess it was
It's like
everything at the beginning of the pandemic like shoved together, but it was like summer of 2020. But considering the fact that we're in a pandemic, the turnaround for this to get us season 2 this quick is pretty amazing.
And especially with like the cast got like expanded a lot from the first season. It's like a lot more people now.
Yeah. Although, I mean, I think the main cast has stayed pretty stagnant.
Well, what I mean is that like,
but yeah, there's a lot more.
There's more people
hanging around. Yeah. But I guess they also probably were like, we have any show with children in it is on like a clock
ticking. Yes. And I mean,
even just like you have to get season. You can't wait 5 years to get your second season out because then your show is different. It's a different show.
I like that they did like. Well, it's funny because all the kids for the most part look exactly the same, except for the main kid. Like everyone else,
looks kind of like
his
similar.
His
voice is the big giveaway, but he looks pretty similar.
He looks like he's a bit taller now. It's like the height difference between him and I think Paul is a little bit more stark now. Paul looks the same fucking age though, which
I think.
Sorry,
Well,
kid.
okay, I think you're actually not. You should go back and watch the.
I haven't
season.
watched it in a long time.
He's clearly older, but he looks. It's not as bad as like. Again,
all right.
Still, my favorite one is The Americans, which I've talked about this before. There's a season of The Americans that ends, and then the next season's supposed to start at the same time. Like basically, a character walks upstairs, the season ends, and then he walks down the stairs, and it's supposed to be like an hour later, and he like fucked them up and had like hit puberty, grew like 3 feet. He's got like some stubble and a deep ass voice now. It's so funny.
Ted Lasso kind of did a weird thing to me too, and I like went immediately to the second season. Like, you guys look a bit different. Like everyone looked a little bit different, even though it's supposed to be like in the same like kind of thing. But so far, Raised by Wolves. Do you know what the fuck is going on?
Well, I kind of like season 2, 2 episodes in. Maybe by the time you're listening to this, the 3rd episode will have dropped. But I like that they made the decision to make this a tonally different show. So we have these first 2 episodes are directed by Ernest Dickerson, who most famous is basically he's like Spike Lee's guy. He did the cinematography for Do the Right Thing, Jungle Fever, Mo Better Blues, Do the Right Thing, or said that already, and School Days. But has been for the last 20 years has been like a TV veteran. He comes in and directs TV shows, which up until pretty recently, until TV became like kind of the thing to do, was a bummer for me personally because I love Ernest Dickerson, and to see him like doing some grunt work on like The Walking Dead was not my favorite thing for a guy who I think is really talented. I love the way these first 2 episodes look.
Yeah,
he also is going
look
to be doing
cool.
the DMZ show later this year.
Oh, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
We never talked about that. We've never talked about that comic.
Never talked about DMZ ever, no. Although it is Ava DuVernay who...
We don't know yet. Listen, this could be
She did us fucking dirty like twice already.
I know, hey, listen, third, this is the last strike.
This is even 3rd time. Isn't she like deeply involved in Naomi?
I don't. I mean, I know she had DC ties because she was supposed to be doing a New Gods movie, but the Eternals.
She is. She's show running Naomi, which I watched 10 minutes of.
Why would you want to? If you're at her status, why the hell would you want to be showrunning a CW show?
Well, you say her status, but and again, this does not need to be the Ava DuVernay conversation. But she's made one good thing ever.
I know, but still, like a CW show. I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to keep on riding it out. The CW showrunner thing. I feel like someone could walk up to me and be like, "You want to do this?" And I'd probably be qualified enough to make something halfway decent on that network.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with that. I don't really understand, but I mean, what can you do? But either way, so the Ernest Dickerson, who is his first time directing Raised by Wolves, which is indicative of the tonal shift in the show, which I like that they did this because I think the show did need to. It couldn't really be the same thing again. After the way the first season ended, you couldn't do that realistically. We both really loved the first season, so I'm a little bit bummed out that it is different. But the things I loved about the first season, which is basically Amanda Collin and Abubakar Salim's performances, are still rock solid.
They are both amazing. In
So
show.
good. Collin, again, because of the kind of performance she's giving in the kind of show she's giving, will just never see any like awards recognition for this, but I think her performance is just lights out amazing.
So fucking, does such a good job of
creepy.
being so horrified. Like, oh my god, I would be terrified to be in a room with her.
To the point where so I watched a couple interviews with the two of them, and obviously she's like a very lovely, charismatic, nice person, and I'm like, this is actually even weirder because I'm so used to being a terrifying robot. Yeah. It's like, what programming did you just turn on to act like a human being? But so the first, so we of course see the new snake monster, not the new snake, but the snake monster comes back, and I sort of I think the that's going to be like the big underlying problem of the show, including of course Marcus's storyline, which I think we both agreed that Marcus is not our favorite character from the first season.
No, he's
I'm not sure how I feel about him being an even bigger part of this season, it looks like.
Whenever he pops up, I'm like, I don't want you to be like, I mean, I think you need antagonistic forces, and honestly, I think the ominous atheist computer god thing is
Oh yeah, what's that doing?
I don't know.
Did they destroy 2001: A Space Odyssey before the religion civil war?
That's like, I was gonna make a Marvel Comics thing with the fucking Kree Collective, but I mean
it's HAL. It's HAL 3000. It's
like it's all of them. It's very much like, hey, we're all gonna listen to this really smart computer, and it's always how the fuck have they not like seen that movie and been like, yeah, this is a good idea?
The one guy who says like, I would happily listen to this machine the rest of my life is worrying to me. Because there are people like that exist, and they will be our enemies when the robots uprise. This is no shot on Travis Fimmel, who plays Marcus, who I think is actually really good. He's delivering a very creepy in a different way to Colin's performance. But I just, again, that character is like, I can't really connect to it. Mostly because he's like a crazy religious nut. So I mean, obviously, doesn't really speak to me personally, but I kind of like that he's like literally in the bushes during the season, like assembling his army. I think that will end up being pretty interesting once it starts to pick up.
Because I mean, there's definitely needs to be a way that, like, at least I've only seen the first episode, but at least from what my perspective is, that there needs to be at some point the atheists are going to go full against our main characters in our group. So you kind of need another opposing force to take them down as well.
Yeah.
Which I think in the end of the season, I'm guessing they're going to kind of lead into him having even more power by the end.
Marcus, you mean?
Marcus, yeah. I forgot his name, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I get the show was a very mood-based show, I think. It is, in a lot of ways, you just sort of like let yourself go during the first season and sort of let it envelop you. I think the fact that it's so beautiful, again, watch this on the biggest screen you have available. I know this is not like, just don't watch this on your phone, I guess is what I'm saying. But
it's one of those things like, it's like you want to see this as like big as possible, because like when it's like kind of the Dune effect too, when you kind of like pull back and they just have all these fun, very sci-fi environments, you kind of just want to take them all in.
Yeah, they've done an amazing job of building this world, and we're going to get to see different aspects of the world in this season,
and I like
too,
that,
which
like,
is also interesting.
And I like how like different it is to that stark barren wasteland, and then like now we're in this very like different type of thing. Yeah, you're right. I think it's kind of a good thing to be like in a sense of a different show, because it feels like another chapter into the book, like it's like a sequel in the sense that like the story needs to continue in some way. I still am wondering if they're gonna go. Of course the religious symbolism is the show itself, but I'm really hoping they don't stick too far to the T with like the whole Cain and Abel situation. That's definitely apparent. But I don't know.
I think you kind of have to. I like with you. That's like not my favorite, especially anytime there's like Bible allegories and anything. I just sort of my brain shuts off because I'm just like, we've done this forever. Read a different book, guys. But like, I think just because of the show is literally about a religious civil war, it's kind of hard to.
And she did give birth to a giant snake at the end in like the Garden of Eden. So
Yeah. It is a show that's not.
Oh, and
we're talking about lacking subtlety.
Oh my god! And he does take a thing from the tree. Finds a fucking thing from a tree that grants him knowledge out. Oh god damn it! Okay, yeah, no, it's on. I'll shut the fuck up then. It's a good show. I'll shut the fuck up then.
Yeah, I think Bible allegory is not. Again, I think the thing that's working about this show is the performances, the set design, and the directing. I'm not sure I'm like obsessed with the story arc.
Yeah,
that's why I said I think that the mood of the show is so much more important. Although I will say, Guzikowski is like a great writer. He wrote one of my favorite. Speaking of Villeneuve, one of my favorite Villeneuve movies. He wrote Prisoners. He is capable of writing very intricate character arc stories. I think the story of mother and father, which is still so weird to call them that, but the story of mother and father in season 1 is probably the best character development story, especially mother, obviously, who's the lead of the show.
Which was kind of why
in season 2 will be interesting.
Yeah, and I want to see that more too. I kind of was I'm not disappointed, but I was still like when he was like, "I forgive you" kind of situation. I'm like, that doesn't feel earned.
No,
yet.
But
I like the way they phrased it though, where he's like, "I still don't trust you entirely."
Right. It would be also like out of character for him to be mad. Like it's like the whole point of him is he can't really be mad.
But he clearly emotes.
Yeah, that's the thing. This show can't really become like examining what androids are, but I would love sort of an explanation of, do they feel? Do they not feel?
I
know Mother is always supposed to be different than the rest of them.
I think it's very clear that he feels. I mean, he feels anger obviously at her, so I think like he definitely like there's emotions there for sure. It's just that it's one of those things where like they kind of like you can't have emotions, but I'm like they clearly have emotions. I mean, like what's it called again with the android who rescued her daughter?
Well, no. So she's a human.
Oh, she's human. Okay.
She's a human. The daughter is an android. I guess it's a little bit of spoiler for episode 2, but it's not that big of a deal. So the android has like the memories of her dead daughter.
Oh, holy shit!
And that's why she's so attached to it.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's just like. Although I with you because when her first introduction on camera delivers a line like a robot.
Yeah, it's
she
seems more robotic than the girl. And then I was like, why is he stabbing? Oh, okay. Just fucking stabbing the shit out of her, and she was just not reacting. I'm like, oh, this is
I need her. What he was like, I need her shoulder blade.
Yeah, it's like the fuck. How the fuck? Okay, whatever. But all right. Let's talk about. Do you want to take a break, or you want to keep on blazing?
No. Just keep it going.
All right.
To a show that I basically couldn't be more tonally different.
Totally different. Yeah, we're talking about Peacemaker. I think we have 2 more episodes before the end of this season. And this show has gone from being like, oh, I kind of see where this is going, to being batshit insane. Which is not unexpected of James Gunn, but like, holy shit, man, what the fuck are you on? In the best way possible.
Yeah, I'll let you cook for a minute. Just what are you thinking about these last few episodes of Peacemaker?
I don't know. It's like a weird sense of like, with the show itself. I mean, like you have these like they're like the underlying plot of the show is very fucked up. Like if you like look at it, take away the comedic aspects. It's like an alien invasion's happening, the invasion of the body snatchers, situation. But the fact of the matter is, the 2 of the main characters are Peacemaker and Vigilante, who are the 2 biggest idiots ever existing.
Oh, I mean,
that kind of keeps
Vigilante's like a problem. Like
he is a problem.
Something's wrong with him, which is weird because he sort of seemed more normal.
Yeah,
but then 2 of them originally.
but like occasionally he'll just drop a line where it's like you are not a good person. Like it's some of the lines I'm like, why is this person like Peacemaker? We kind of understand that he's going through a character arc, and he's not as bad of a person as he was portrayed as. He seems like he's on like getting better, but Vigilante has not changed.
Well, we get the reveal obviously that he doesn't want to kill people anymore.
Yeah,
he's
which
having like this moral. Although I do love that he was like, no, I'm happy to shoot aliens.
Yeah, it was just very quickly like, yeah, I'll shoot fucking aliens. It's such a good. Ah, man, John Cena's fucking. And just first off, John Cena's really, really fucking good in this show.
Yeah.
Like like every episode blows me out of the water how good he is in this show.
I mean,
in the
this is not a knock on everybody else, but he's the best actor in this show.
Yeah,
which is
like. Which is
and the rest
insane.
of the cast is pretty good. Like,
yeah, everyone definitely has their moments too. I mean, Vigilante, obviously. I think the scene where he's like in the prison just berating the Nazis and then beats the shit out of them was fucking amazing. That's probably one of my favorite scenes in any television show I've ever seen.
Although I will say, speaking of actors, I'm just bummed we're not going to get like fun Annie Chang anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm wondering
she's just going to be a butterfly now.
I'm wondering how hammy they're going to let her be, because I feel like at least with James Gunn, I can't imagine he's just going to keep her like completely robotic. I hope not. At least I kind of hope they.
I mean,
I hope
we've
they
already
keep
got the reveal that they die. Like they die when you. I mean, obviously.
Oh no, I meant the
pools of blood
actress
coming out of their mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I liked. It's funny because I really liked that character. So like her death was so unexpected, because it was like she had a really fun arc. I was kind of waiting to see like at least some kind of payoff.
I mean, I think genuinely the best part of the show was those small interactions we got between Sophie Song and Annie Chang's character and her partner, whose name is Larry Fitzgibbon, which is not a name.
That's not a name.
But their interactions, like anytime I can't remember his name.
Peacemaker's father.
Yeah, Peacemaker's father would just say something incredibly racist to her.
And I like
he
how
wouldn't want to be you after she. It's so good.
I like how like her like responses also get better as the show goes on, and then like the last one to him was just like really good, and then he just fucking ruins it. And I'm like,
wouldn't want to be. She just looked at him like, I don't think he'd act that, man. Yeah, this show is I think as fun as we expected it to be, and of course DC owes. Shockingly, DC owes so much to James Gunn. He's basically, as you said before already, he's salvaged their terrible storyline.
Terrible storyline. In a weird way, this is the only thing that's like currently like canon, if we're gonna call it that in the DC. Like, I don't even know.
Is it the only thing that's left?
I think
Wonder Woman's
Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Flash technically still exist in this, but it's like this is probably the most fun I've had in their little like universe so far.
It's unquestionably the best thing that the DCEU has produced.
And like I think this last episode that came out, which like was like with the butterfly takeover, basically. I was surprised how
fucked scene.
The last 10 minutes of that show, where starting off with the police being swarmed by those bugs and just being killed, leading into the whole terrifying walking sequence, and then leading into apparently John Cena can play the piano in a weirdly emotional scene.
And like that was John Cena doing that.
Yeah, no, that's John Cena doing it. And
there's
like
no camera tricks in that.
In the fucking Peacemaker costume, which is always stupid. It'll never not be stupid. That's
the thing. The thing that's really great about this show is that it acknowledges how dumb a character Peacemaker is.
Yeah. It is like it's dumb,
including
but it's also
kids
like
calling him a failure, which was so fucked up.
Oh my god, it's what I don't know why the joke whenever someone says I think you're my dad is always oh my god. They don't even know, like they don't even go, they just like be like, okay, I guess that's just it's just a one-off joke. He doesn't even follow it up at all. James Gunn is just
good.
Oh man.
What do we think is Adebayo's, I guess not her plan, but what's the plan with the diary?
So at least this was my guess to things. I figured that Amanda Waller was going to be like, there's going to be a large body count by the time this is over, and we need someone to need a scapegoat. Yeah, I think that, and that's why I think like they forged a diary of Peacemaker saying that like aliens exist and all that other shit.
But why they planted it so early? Like
I don't know. I don't really know. I don't think Adebayo's really good at her job.
No, because she gets the text. She literally gets the text from, we see Waller saying, have you planted the diary yet? She's supposed to plant it early.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like, we also get the thing in I think it's the second episode where we see the globe is full of butterflies. So the plan is to kill lots of butterflies.
Yeah.
And they framed him before they killed the first butterfly.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. It's a weird. No, it's a very. I'm assuming we're probably gonna get a little bit more explanation on that in the next episode. But like,
and also I guess the diary doesn't really matter. Like as soon as the butterflies took over the police force, it was a wrap for them.
Yeah, like and it's like Peacemaker's like enemy number one now. And it's like okay, he's like he was getting arrested earlier in the episode.
I mean, you know you're a good guy if the cops and the Nazis are coming to kill you.
Exactly.
You're doing something right.
I'm excited to see wherever this like collides, but also like in James Gunn fashion, it's either going to go exactly how I expected, or it's just going to be a completely left turn from what is going to happen.
I also wonder how much of a story arc we end up wrapping up, because
I think there's going to be
if it's not been confirmed already, I think they either are doing a season 2 or this character is going to continue. It's such a massive success.
James Gunn is going to keep on working in the DC universe post. I think Guardians of the Galaxy, I think he said that was his last Marvel property, last like Marvel job. So I am imagining he's probably
I think after his experience with making that movie, I don't know why you'd want to go back to work with Disney.
Yeah,
especially if DC's going to let you cook like this, like they're just going to let you make 2-minute long dance numbers as your
intro,
opening credits. Like Disney would never let him do that.
No, it's just like, and I'm like, I want to like, it's just like I wanted to see like the production all the way through it, where it's just like I wanted to see the James Gunn being like, I want to shoot a dance number. Get the entire cast,
and
pay them for this day of work.
The entire cast.
The entire cast. Pay them
characters
all for
that
a
are
day
dead
of work.
in the show are still dancing in the opening number.
Yeah, it's amazing. I kind of was wondering if they were gonna like switch it up at some point to like kind of take people away or something, but I'm like, you know what, keep it as is. I think it's perfect. I'm wondering. No, I'm like, I don't exactly know where the story's gonna end at. I don't think our team's gonna make it all the way through. I can't imagine Vigilante dying. I don't know why. I just can't imagine. I don't know why. It's like even if Peacemaker dies.
I don't know. You think anybody dies? I think the big team dynamic is going to be they. I mean, we already got the reveal that they have the diary.
That's
Peacemaker's
fair.
already said, "I don't have a diary." It's going to come out that, and I mean the whole thing with like now, everybody except for Peacemaker knows that
Murn's a butterfly.
Murn's a butterfly.
Also, that actor's great. I don't think I've seen him in anything beforehand, and I'm apparently like James Gunn worked with him on this and like brought him into the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So I'm excited to see.
He's gonna be in that. He's done some like horror movies as far as I know, but and he was in some TV. Apparently, he's in John Wick 2. I don't know who he is in that. But
don't read that. It's been a while.
Credit as being in that movie. I think that the blow up is going to be something around Waller and Adebayo, finding out that Adebayo is like basically a plant for Waller, but again is like, other than the diary, hasn't really seemed to do much of anything against the team.
Yeah,
I'm with you that I'm very interested to see what goes. I don't really see how they can end any of these story arcs in 2 episodes though. That's the weirdest part.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the hardest things. I mean, especially the next episode, which is like penultimate. So that's usually when all the shit happens. So I'm wondering,
do we think his dad makes it out of the season?
I don't even think his dad makes it to Peacemaker. I figured that the cop is just going to kill him. Like, I don't know why. I'm imagining the Nazis are going to go down really easy.
Well, the next episode is quite literally called "Stop Dragging My Heart Around." Dragon, like so, and he is the dragon.
He is the dragon. Yes. God, fucking racists are stupid with their names.
The KKK bags on the head when they come into the lab.
I can
so
never,
funny to me.
Since Django, I could never take like it's just every time I see them, it's just.
Well, especially like surrounded by like he like walks into the TARDIS basically, like it's a room too big for the space it's in, and they have bags on their heads, like they're just
ridiculous.
Buffoons. Obviously, that's the point of it, but it's
fucking great.
Yeah.
But
shows a ton of fun.
I'm excited. I'm excited to we're probably gonna catch up on this. Like probably talk about the end of the show, unless the next episode's a fucking banger or some shit. But I've been loving Peacemaker. Happy to see James Gunn. I really hope he sticks around the DC universe and keeps making shit.
I think just judging by the fact that DC is so desperate to have DCEU work, and I think this will be the year that tells we have the Batman, which is that's not EU, right? That's not canon.
No, it's just that this is
just
whole
DC.
New. Yeah,
but we have the Batman, we have
the Flash,
and we have Aquaman. Another one, and Aquaman.
Yeah.
So this is a big year for DC, and if
I think a lot of it rides also on the Flash, because I think the Flash is a weird, like, it's either going to be good or bad. I think Aquaman, people know what Aquaman is already. It's a lot of dumb fun, and it's like, don't think too hard about it. But I'm wondering what the Flash is going to be, because all alleged rumors are supposed to do Flashpoint or whatever.
I think there is a non-zero chance, and actually a pretty big chance, that we walk out of this year and the Batman was good, and the other two were bad, and
I can
DC
believe
is
that.
in a rough place again.
Yeah.
Where like the only thing that they have that's quote unquote canon that's any good is made by James Gunn, and it was a weird TV show.
And then in a weird ass movie too. They're both weird ass properties, so it's
and
like
they basically took an absolute massive shit on their one thing that people liked with Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah, that was fucking whack.
So like, I mean, I know there are DC fans out there who are probably listening to this being like, yeah, but Marvel sucks. It's like, it's not, guys.
No.
I understand you like Disney sucks. I hate Disney as much as you guys do. I know it's like more for kids and nobody gets their head blown off or like weird Jared Leto mailing rats to them on sets of Disney movies, but they're not good movies, guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's,
DC doesn't make good movies.
Marvel movies are at least good.
Changes that.
Yeah, I hope so too. Well, I mean, I got nothing else to say, Che. Should we let the audience go?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else I could say more about Peacemaker, except for the show is so weird. If you're not watching it, you really should be.
If you haven't watched it until listening to us right now, and I feel like we
I
probably
mean, not
sound
that
fucking...
we really spoiled anything that matters. Like,
Yeah, it does. It
the
just
show is
sounds
not
fucking
a
insane.
plot
It's not. Yeah, it's not plot. The plot isn't. I think there's probably been one moment in the show where I'm like, oh shit, and that's about it. There's only one moment, but
which we already spoiled that. I mean,
yeah, exactly. So whatever.
It's too late for you now.
Too late, motherfuckers. All right. Well, I've been Cory.
I've been Che.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
See you guys next time.
Bye.
Sweet Christmas.